Spider-Man, Spider-Man does whatever a spider can.
Hey, Internets. It's Paul. It's Matt. Somewhere in the background's producer Steve.
Hey.
Ah, very good. We're here today to talk about Spider-Man Homecoming. Producer Steve has not seen it, but does not mind getting spoiled.
That's right.
Along with the rest of you, because we're going to spoil the crap out of this.
Maybe even reenact the whole thing.
We're going to reenact it, right. We're going to do a shot for shot.
Take us on, Marvel.
That's right. So let's jump into it. Our thoughts on Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yes.
Paul, what are your general thoughts?
Very good movie. I enjoyed it quite a lot.
Was it better than the Tobey Maguire?
See, he doesn't like Tobey Maguire.
Producer Steve does not like Tobey Maguire.
The answer to that is yes.
He hasn't even seen it.
He hasn't seen the movie yet.
I don't have to see it.
But it doesn't have Tobey Maguire in it, so they're already doing that right.
Well, I know one of your favorite scenes is the alley strut when he's got his hair dyed black with shoe polish.
I think that's the third one,
Doesn't matter.
which is
It was
most
garbage.
people didn't like. I thought it was, I wasn't crazy about that.
So okay.
But I liked it, and I thought it was
Garbage.
You liked it being what? What
The
we
alley
talking?
scene.
like the movie. But I did like. I thought that Holland, right?
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland is a better fit for the role than Tobey Maguire.
Agreed. Tom Holland is the best iteration that we have of the live action Spider-Man.
Like, one of the funny things about why he is that, I mean, he's like, now he's 21, but he was like 19, I guess, or 20 when he did this role.
You're talking about in Civil War?
Civil War, right. And now he's like 21. But he doesn't look like he's going to grow too much more. He's a short guy, and I don't think he's going to grow much more. So he's probably got longer in the role than.
He doesn't seem like an adult attempting to be a high schooler.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like that.
Which is one big advantage.
Like, perhaps at the end of the movie you can kind of see it, because then he's his most. Spoiler alert.
Right, we're spoiling it.
When he's taking on the final battle with the Vulture, you can see he's determined now. He's far more confident than he's ever been. And there you can kind of see, yeah, he's an adult. But in the up until then, though, he's showing all his insecurity and youthful excitement. And it works well.
Yeah. There's the series. The movie is a series of failures on his part, as he fights at wanting to be an adult or treated like an adult, and yet is still this immature kid.
Yeah, and you can certainly look at some of the themes that have been explored in other Marvel movies, wherein just because you're there to stop somebody from doing something terrible doesn't mean other bad things won't happen. That'll be like damaging to property around you and to other people. So it's like, he stops a bank robbery, but then around some of their weapons cause damage to the world around, nearly kill people. So yeah, it was nice to sort of see that, and it. Since he had a mentor, it actually kind of being Tony Stark and Iron Man, it kind of created an interesting sort of hierarchy of where he stands in terms of the type of hero he is. He's a teenager, and he's not as good as some of the other heroes, and he's not as mature, and so, maybe he's not as good. Like, at the end, there was a great thing where he was, not the end, it was when he was saving the ship by holding it together.
Okay.
And the guy was like, I'm Spider-Man! But then it didn't quite work, and so Iron Man had to save the day. So, Iron Man!
It's the same guy. He's like,
same guy.
where's Iron Man? Which is pretty good. I also like the suit telling him, you were 98% successful.
Yes.
What do you mean 98%? Oh, whoops. Okay.
And that was another great thing that they did, too. I mean, one of the problems that you have with a character who has a secret identity is that it's hard to have that character express what's going on with him, right? And so one of the things they did was have a friend of his discover who it was, so he can say
really
to him
quickly.
Pretty quickly, yeah. And then I think it's actually great. I don't know if that exists in the comics, but because they're already established that you could have an artificial intelligence with Iron Man, And he actually created these different characters and voices to do that.
And that's been set up in previous movies.
Right.
He had Jarvis, but then he also had Jocasta.
No,
and
he didn't have Jocasta.
Well, I mean,
that was a choice.
It was a choice. I'm saying he had it as an option.
Right, but he actually, I forget the name of the one that he used. But this one, yeah, might be Jocasta. We don't know.
We don't know.
Right, but a reason why you might want it to be Jocasta is because Jocasta has a relationship to Ultron, but she's an artificial intelligence and a sentient being, and so therefore maybe something between Vision and her could happen. Like the actual people. Paul Bettany and Jennifer Connelly.
Who are married.
Does the voice of...
So Paul Bettany's, he's the voice of Jarvis. She's the voice of Karen.
Yeah.
Kind of a nice little...
Karen, that's what he decided to call her.
He decided to call her Karen. He was like, call her Liz. Oh, that's too weird. She's my girlfriend. Okay, this is Karen. Good. Karen?
Right, but now Peter has someone else to sort of talk to sort of reveal what's going on.
Right.
What,
it's a way...
Suit talks?
Right, just like Jarvis.
That wasn't in the comic books, though, right?
It is not.
I don't think it is.
So
although there is...
Are fanboys going to have a problem with this?
I'm sure they
Probably.
will. No, I don't think so.
No?
No, I don't think so.
Because that wasn't in the original comic.
Well, it's been established... In Civil War, it was established that his suit was provided to him by Tony Stark.
Yes.
So you could get the idea that, it's a Stark suit, so maybe it has the same problem.
I like the idea, but I think fanboys won't.
I haven't heard anything from fanboys.
Right.
But you're right. I mean, it's not to a purist. It would be like, the suit shouldn't talk back to him.
Right.
But I liked it too. I liked
it, but I'm saying purists probably won't.
He does have mechanical web shooters. They didn't do the Tobey Maguire. It's from my skin thing.
Good.
Yeah, exactly. No, I was saying
yes,
that's a
as
good
it is
thing.
in the comics.
Where people had a problem with that. People had a problem with Tobey Maguire shooting webs
as well they should have.
Yeah.
Because in the comics, Peter is smart enough to create webbing. And
right.
And in the Civil War, he did too. So that was continued on. It's good. I mean, one of the distinctive choices they made about this is Peter Parker is a student in an advanced school. So it's not like he's alone in being smart. Actually, everybody around him is smart.
Even the bully Flash is smart.
Flash is smart, yes. Probably, obviously not as smart as Peter, because that's what everybody says, actually.
Right. In fact, he gets replaced in the decathlon.
Yes.
When it's like, you gonna come? You think everybody's just gonna welcome you back? Hey, welcome back, Peter. Okay. Here's a jacket. That was pretty good. There were a lot of nice comedic beats.
Yes.
In this as well. So some funny one-liner moments. Yes. Specifically, I enjoyed Hannibal Buress as the kind of low-key, not low-key, gym coach when he's like showing the Captain America presidential fitness thing. He's like, this guy's probably a war criminal, but just listen to what he has to say. Was good. The bit where the mathletics decathlete, whatever the competition teacher, the coach, when he's like, I forgot how he put it, but something like, I'm glad I didn't lose any kids on this trip again. And the way he said again, I was like, okay, ouch, something horrible happened. But that was a funny bit as well. The fact that Ned and Peter are building a Death Star.
Yes.
And, like a key piece is
a Lego Death Star, I think.
It's a Lego Death Star, and there's a little Palpatine that they keep having to, like that's the... Somehow, I don't know, like somehow analogizing Spider-Man with Palpatine is an interesting idea.
Is it actually like the Death Star?
Well, I mean, it's a Lego version of the Death Star.
But
it's like a big
it
one.
is the Death Star.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Disney doesn't get a cut, since their hands are in everything. Because you mentioned Death Star, and Star Wars owned by Disney. You know what I'm saying?
Just like Marvel's owned by Disney.
Yeah, right. So they're all together. Yeah, it's all. I mean, they had the rights to the property, so they're like, bring in the Death Star. Yeah.
Anything to sell more tickets.
Yes, anything to sell more tickets.
Yes, there's some guy walking past the theater. I don't know. Spider-Man. There's a Death Star in it. All right.
Did you notice? Did you notice that there were many shots? Not many, but maybe 3 or 4 shots of. It seemed like there was always like a mascot running by in the background, and I don't know why it was like.
No, I didn't notice that.
I don't know if it was just like a ha-ha of like a, hey, here's another guy that dresses up and is part of the school or something. No. But it was like there was this guy dressed up like a tiger.
Ah, okay.
And he kept
I heard that, but I didn't see him.
He just kept running by. Every once in a while, you'd see him run by the hallway, and I just thought it was like, oh, he's another costumed guy.
You know the significance of the tiger, right?
Kind of, but to tell us all.
Okay, right. Well, apparently he ran by at the point when Michelle said, "Don't call me Michelle, call me MJ."
Right.
Which Mary Jane Watson was called MJ, and when
and
Mary
she
Jane
called
Watson,
Spider-Man Tiger.
Yep, she called Spider-Man
That's
Tiger.
her nickname.
So a lot of people think that that's how they're tipping it. Although, because some people are so bothered by when somebody is cast as a different race than they were in the original work, some people are suggesting that maybe they're not saying that she's MJ, the Mary Jane Watson MJ. Maybe she's just MJ, Michelle, whatever.
That's stupid. Yeah. Then they shouldn't call her MJ because it'll lead people on, you know?
Right. Well, to me, I think it's I think they're just testing it. It's like a trial balloon.
I do feel like she is an eventual love interest.
I think she'll be
What race is she?
She's mixed race. I think she's black and something else.
All right. She's not cross-eyed, is she?
I didn't notice any cross-eyed action.
Because, the previous Spider-Man films, the love interest is always cross-eyed. I discussed that with Ned, right?
Yeah. Good.
I mean, I wasn't in love with Kristen Dunst as Mary Jane Watson. I don't think her personality fit my image of the character. And I'd say Zendaya, who plays Mary, what is her name? Michelle. I think she's a closer fit.
I agree with Paul.
Thank you, Steve.
Even without seeing it again, I don't.
Paul's usually right. But I agree that she did not fit the role. I agree with that completely. She did not fit that role. I wasn't feeling it.
So, what did we think? I mean, I enjoyed Michael Keaton.
Oh yes,
as Vulture.
Yeah, some people have criticized him in the role. Maybe not him in the role, but certain aspects of his performance, and it's hard for me to even characterize the people who didn't like it because. I thought he was good. I thought he was very good.
What the people that have a problem with it? What is their problem?
Yeah, it's hard for me to even characterize it. It's hard for me to think about it. So now I don't know.
Okay.
Just there are people who don't like it.
People don't like it,
or at least have a problem with it. I mean, perhaps. It's hard for me to think about it.
Does he look like Michael Keaton, or did they have like a lot of makeup and things?
No, they actually don't have much of a costume. He's got a flight jacket and a helmet.
Yeah, there's no similarity in the technology.
Tell Michael Keaton. There's no CG or anything.
No, he's got like a helmet at some points, but no.
No, he's Michael Keaton.
Right.
The scene where they meet Peter and Michael Keaton. Peter and the Vulture meet. Peter knows it's the Vulture.
Yes.
And then slowly the Vulture figures out it's also Peter. That scene is actually really effective, really tense.
Yes. I feel as if, and it may not be the case, that the makers of the movie sort of had a moment in mind and they built around that moment, and I suspect that that's the moment. Because that was a really powerful thing.
When the Vulture, when Toombs says something the equivalent of like, hey, see, I didn't kill you, so you should thank me. And Peter Parker's like, thank you. And like, oh. But we know later he still had the presence of mind to put his phone in the car to track it.
Yes.
So he's not just totally caving in that moment, but he's...
Oh, definitely not.
He's...
But he's had to make a choice. And it's interesting to think about whether or not, at what point he made that choice. I mean, maybe he did make it in the car, like, okay, I'm going to leave this phone here. And from the moment he left the car, he knew he was going to have to leave Michelle in order to pursue the Vulture.
Not Michelle, Liz.
Sorry, Liz, you're right. Yeah. Leave Liz in order to pursue the Vulture. He probably did. I mean... Because that's one of the interesting things. Like, the typical thing you have with Peter is this whole, hey, everybody's going off to have fun. Yeah. Well, I have to go do something else.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel as if he was like, I hate being responsible. It's like, no, I have to be responsible. It's not easy, but I have to do it. And he apologized to her for leaving her.
Right, he goes first to apologize, then leaves. I will say that she and most of the rest of the school are awfully forgiving of him. Ditching them and ditching school activities and like you're fine. Yeah, you're smart. Yeah. That's fine. You say that. You're a pretty smart guy. That's fine.
Yeah, apparently it's like, oh wow, you're so tired from doing other activities. Like, well, he says that he's got an internship with Tony Stark. But apparently that's only diminishes his grades. It doesn't make it really. You're not failing. You're just getting B's. Come on, Peter.
Yes. So that scene is maybe the highlight of the movie in some ways. I don't know. I mean, it just in terms of like memorable scenes from that movie.
There are so many memorable. It's hard for me to pick.
I like the one too where we do see him. I guess this is from the comics too, where he's
talking about when he's trapped.
Where he's trapped.
Yes.
But that moment is also great because it's that sense of
really great
adolescence versus adulthood where he's crying out really like a kid,
panicking. Yeah, he's really losing it.
You hear him like the panic in his voice of
desperation.
Help
yes.
me,
yes.
And then he's like, okay, no one's here to help me.
He
sounds like Mickey Mouse. Ooh, Minnie. He takes on a mouse role for a while. The mouse, and he.
You can really hear his teen, he's a teenager, he's a kid in this situation. And
then he realizes no one's going to help him, no one's coming.
No.
So he's got to figure out a way to do it himself.
Yes.
And then he summons the strength,
yes,
the courage to go on, which is a very impactful moment.
Yeah, it's I recognize it right away. It's a really great moment from the comics that's like 40, 50 years old. It's just really, or whatever. It's very early in the comic run, I'll say that. And it was a great moment in the movie, too.
I also do appreciate, the Ned Peter relationship is awesome. The two of them, their nerdly friendship is great. It's well done. Ned is great.
Yeah, apparently the character is more based on the Ultimate Spider-Man friend of Peter's.
Okay, all right, because Ned turns into Hobgoblin eventually in the comics, and that doesn't look like the trajectory they're making on this one. But it's also great, like that sense of, and I kind of had the same thing. A teenage boy, like, oh look, this is dangerous, and in being dangerous, it's awesome.
Yes.
And so they're playing with things, and then they're like, oh look, it's this weird tech that could blow things up. Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
As opposed to maybe we should really be cautious with this thing, or like, oh look, it looks like it's Ultron's head.
Right.
That's cool. Like there's that kind of
he was able to contrast. Some people say he stole the movie. He was great, and I don't think. I mean, thankfully, everybody's in the parts they were, except maybe you could argue that Liz could have had more to do, perhaps, or even Michelle. But to contrast the enthusiasm and really strong desire to really be a hero that Peter had, to say, well, to counter that, and the point when they take the suit and reveal all his secrets, he's like, oh, no, why? They had these names for it, like the training wheels protocol,
the training wheels protocol,
or the safe, or this other one that was fairly insulting. So it was like, he could figure out how to open up the capabilities of the suit. But he was there to sort of say, should we do this?
I did like I want to be the guy in the chair.
Yes.
And it's like, every superhero's got the guy in the chair. He's the guy who's got a bunch of screens around him, and then he's like talking him through stuff. And he says, I want to be the guy in the chair. And then at the end of the movie, he's the guy in the chair. He's like, I'm the guy in the chair! Yes. Oh, awesome!
Yeah, and he's doing it at the Homecoming in a library, and he gets found out.
Yes.
And so he closes it, like, what are you doing? Like, looking at porn.
His cover is
so obviously very believable.
Right.
And trust me, that's better than what I was doing.
That was another very funny moment.
I like it because he is so young, coming into his own. He is the superhero as if anyone on the street is becoming a superhero. Like you said, the guy in the chair.
Right.
That's what everyone thinks of. In Civil War, remember those AT-AT things? Here's my idea, and they're going around...
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. stuff like that is cool because you're seeing it through Spider-Man's eyes. It's not expected he's just a superhero and he's going to save the day. The common person gets to see what it's like to be in that role, and I like things like that. So
as I say, he fails a lot, and so it's not a series of successes.
I don't want to know the answer to this.
All right.
Well, one thing he doesn't want to be spoiled.
I do want the answer to this, but I don't want to know in what context.
All right.
Stan Lee makes an appearance as a cameo.
Yes,
he does.
I mean, as always. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't want to know what cameo.
Okay.
All right. That is probably the least spoilish thing we could give you, but okay. Yes, Stanley is back.
I don't mind hearing all this because I'm still going to see it, and it kind of puts a roadmap.
Yeah, you don't mind as long as you can see that Stanley.
That's right. I don't want to know at what point he appears.
Be surprised.
Destroy the whole film.
Yeah, and a wise choice not to make it the first thing, so that you won't be like, oh, maybe I should just leave. I've seen his his cameo. The rest is just, I've heard the rest.
Don't spoil that part.
So you've got some of the underlings. You've got the Tinkerer,
yes.
the Shocker.
Yes.
They meet up with the Prowler.
Yes.
He makes a Miles Morales. He drops it. He says, "My nephew lives in this area,"
yes.
and that's Miles Morales.
Yes.
So that may be a future iteration of Spider-Man, perhaps. Anyway, but I will say this: the Shocker is two people, right? So in the beginning, it's one guy. That guy gets killed off, and so they're like, "You are now the Shocker." Right. First Shocker, not smart.
No,
not a smart guy.
No.
Hey. Oh, you're kicking me out of the group for being incompetent? Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna tell everybody. What do you think about that? I'm gonna tell on this whole organization. I'll just turn my back and start walking out now. What? You had all these weapons around and you just used one on me? Whoa! I never saw that. I mean, that guy was an idiot.
Yes, yes, he was an absolute idiot.
Interestingly, though, I
have to wonder whether or not when he's destroyed. It was like, well, I thought this was the anti-grav gun.
I was about to mention this.
Was it? Oh, I thought this was the anti-grav gun, or actual shock as opposed to.
Yeah, because they kind of were trying to have their cake and eat it too. They wanted I think the show wanted to have the Vulture kill a guy, like to show like, ooh, he's a bad man. But it also we're kind of like, well, let's leave it out that he's not just vicious.
Yes.
And so they're like, that's why they have this. Yeah. After he disintegrates, he's like, oh, I thought that was the anti-grav gun. Yeah. Or did I? I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
I've heard somebody theorize that they threw that line in there for Keaton just to make it not seem like I just wouldn't kill this guy when. If you do that, I'll raise you up off the earth. No, I hate heights. I mean,
now that I've been raised up, I'll. That was, and you're right. If he had literally been shocked that he killed the guy instead of raised him off the floor, I think he would have been
a little more
devastated in that moment, or not,
or
but
something.
Whoa, oh my God!
But he's a bad guy, right?
But
yes, he's a bad guy.
Why would he be shocked? He'd be like, whatever.
Well, they haven't shown him kill anybody up until then. That's the first time. He's a thief. He steals and then repurposes stuff and sells it.
And he's not somebody who is like, hey, how do I get into a life of crime? He's somebody who was trying to live a fairly legitimate life. And because of what was going on with around him, he decided to cut corners and exploit a situation that he had, which was illegal.
There's also a very big, the movie is a lot about class.
Yes.
There's the fact that the Vulture takes a life of crime because he considers himself to be like a working man, construction guy, and damn it, Tony Stark and his crew just come in and take all his jobs.
Now, that's something else that occurred to me. It's like, hey, I put all this money up to do this thing, and now I'm going to suffer. Oh, well, we've taken it over. You couldn't give him some money? It's like, make him right after that? It's like, we just took this from you. Too bad you overextended, and you got some guy being a jerk, and so that Michael Keaton can hit him in the face. But, you had, it was a Cagney, right? It was Cagney.
Yeah, it was Tyne Daly.
Or was it Lacey?
It was Tyne Daly. So whichever one that was. Let's go with Cagney.
I think it was Cagney.
I think it's Cagney.
It was Tyne Daly, though, who was there to say, that's all right.
Yeah, we got nothing for you.
Yep.
Right, he could have sued them. I don't know. There could have been a...
Well, the cool thing to do would just be like, you've lost money, we'll make it whole, but you're not in charge anymore.
Yeah.
But
so what's fun about that character, though, is... So he starts in that way of like, I'm the low guy.
Right.
And then by the end of the movie... He's driving a Jag.
Yes.
He's got this great house, but he's still like, screw you.
The Vulture.
The Vulture. So he's become the thing that he kind of was railing against in a way.
Yeah.
He's...
well, it's sort of like, hey, if it's okay for them, why isn't it okay for me, basically.
Right.
And, that's a common theme in terms of, these people who achieve this worth, like, oh, what did... Jack Kennedy do, or Kennedy's dad do, or whatever. What all these people who develop all these dynasties, are they breaking the rules to get there? So,
but then you also have the class of in school class. Okay, no, but so Peter is not a wealthy student by any means. No. Lives with his aunt. Yes. They kind of humble means.
Yes.
And then, but the school has some rich folks, a la Flash, who drives around in a nice car, and he's the jerk.
Yes.
And so, in some ways, there's that a bit of an analogy with, and Peter and the Vulture have kind of maybe a little similar. They even comment on it at one point where Vulture's like, it's that same thing where we're more alike than you know, hero.
Yes.
But they do that, and there actually is some similarity there, perhaps, too.
Yeah, well, and that's the nice thing about Keaton's character is that he's multidimensional. He's not like, hey, I'm just trying to get rich, even though he wants to get rid of Peter because he's causing him these problems and stuff. But he established some moral code, too.
He has a moral code.
When he discovers who Peter Parker is, he says, you saved my daughter's life.
Yep.
So that's why, if you get out now, stay away. But if you do anything, then I'll kill you and your family.
And then Peter saves his life as well.
Yes.
And so when he's in prison, then at the end of one of the cutscenes, at the end of the end credits, he does not give up Peter's identity.
Yeah, and that's one of the interesting things about it is that the whole thing about identity, how long is it going to last? Because the other thing they reveal is that his Aunt May figures out.
Yeah, Aunt May, Ned, and the Vulture all know who Peter Parker is.
Right. And, and he's not going to, for the most... The time he's going to be Spider-Man, he's not going to use some fake voice.
Oh yeah, he has his fake interrogation
voice. Most of the
time. It's kind of like Batman. Was that a joke on Batman?
Probably.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it was.
Probably.
Like they do it. Joker. What are you going to do? What are you doing? So that's his interrogation voice, which they make a joke about it. They're probably like, why are you using that voice?
I hate Batman for that.
So they take that out. It's pretty funny. That interrogation scene is pretty damn funny.
Yeah.
With Donald Glover.
It's a very funny scene.
And because he's a kid trying to sound like an adult.
Yes.
Again, which is great.
Yes.
So we do see in that end credit scene when the Vulture fails to divulge Peter's name, he's talking to the person who eventually is going to be the Scorpion.
Yes.
So that's another villain, another Spider-Man villain that we'll probably see eventually. Yes. He also mentions he's got some friends on the outside.
Yes.
Who want to, what did he say? Like, want to cut his throat and throw his head in a dryer?
I missed that.
I was like, that's an odd...
Yeah, I don't remember the dry cleaner.
Yeah, like, what? Okay.
So,
but that could be your Sinister Six, perhaps.
Yes, right.
So Iron Man never comes to the rescue.
Not at the end.
They let Peter Parker solve his problem at the end. Yeah. But he does. Iron Man solves his problem in the middle of the movie. It's
just like I'm thinking.
The fairy.
It's weird to me that he's a mentor, but yet he's not around.
Well,
is he doing that to force him to grow up on his own, or what?
No. So what happens is he. I had to explain it to you, but you've seen it. You're not being spoiled.
Don't worry about it. don't waste video time on it. I just wanted to bring that up.
Okay,
that's fine.
Yeah. It's explained in the movie.
Yeah. I do love this too. So
but I do want to emphasize. I mean, I think that's smart. What happens is that he takes the suit away. And he's got to find out his own self, or rely on his own resources and who he is. That's why...
that comment that if you really need this suit, then you're really not...
If you see in the previews, he says that. So he takes the suit away from him. And so he has to, on his own, just what he came up with himself, which is web shooters.
Much like Iron Man 3,
yes.
Tony Stark doesn't have the suit, and he has to go infiltrate the base with his own little homemade stuff.
Right.
And they are trying to show like some kind of a similarity there with Tony Stark sees this guy in himself and wants him to be better.
Right, and pretty much, I guess, really, just because one of the things you could say that Iron Man or Tony Stark is bothered by is how poorly he's been, what he's done as Iron Man. So, the whole Sokovia Accords, because he was messing around with Ultron.
We talked about this, that I thought maybe he was, Tony Stark was a little glib, seemed a little too happy based on the fact that the events of Civil War are occurring either right before this is all happening or during it. But we won't argue too long about that, because your thought is, look at the Spider-Man movie, and also Iron Man, Tony has a way of putting a mask on anyway, and it's not like it's not incredibly untoward that Tony Stark would be throwing out one-liners even though he's feeling horrible about finding out his parents were murdered.
Yeah, and it's not his movie.
Yeah.
So.
So what else? What other little interesting tidbits? Anything, sir?
Well, I think it's be interesting to see where they take it from this at this point.
Yeah, you're right. There's they've set up obviously other villains they can take on. They didn't kill off the Vulture, which is nice. Like, they seem to kill off all the villains, and then we carried a new one.
Right.
This guy's in jail. He can break out.
Right.
He could even help them out. Who knows?
Yeah, I think there'll probably be there'll be a high a desire for Marvel and to have maybe, because it's supposed to be his freshman year, I think.
I think he says sophomore.
It's sophomore? Okay, so maybe they'll do a sophomore, then a junior, then a senior year.
Yeah.
That's what I would expect.
Agreed.
Yeah, and with that and the two, or certainly he's going to be in Avengers, what is it?
You're talking about Infinity War?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely in Infinity War.
So he'd probably be in both of those, I would expect.
Apparently, the next Spider-Man movie takes place like seconds after Infinity War ends. Like, in terms of the timeline. Like, whatever happens in the second Infinity War movie.
Yes.
Like, next day, Spider-Man.
Yeah. Right.
So he's going to be living with the aftermath of whatever the Infinity War has done.
Oh, okay.
So his high school experience may be very different. A la, I don't know.
But it's still a high school experience. So.
Yes. Be like Hogwarts. And now he's on the run, and they're listening into radios that coming out.
Right. Well, it'll be interesting to see where they go with Aunt May knowing his identity.
Right.
I mean,
she may become a more active part in things.
I guess. I mean, I think it'll be a danger for them to have her be, wet blanket.
Right.
Like, you shouldn't do that. I'm trying to ground you from being Spider-Man or whatever. That's a dangerous thing to do, because people will be like, ugh, why'd you have to, I don't like her character, because she's always telling Spider-Man not to be Spider-Man. Like, well, she sees him as Peter Parker. And one of the things that made me curious about is, I think certainly everybody's happy that we haven't seen the death of Uncle Ben, but I'm kind of wondering.
They make a reference. They say like, "Oh, after all the AMA's been through, let's not subject her to more stuff." So that's obviously a reference to.
But I wouldn't mind seeing Uncle Ben. Maybe not his death, but see what he's like in his life. Just have a greater appreciation for what Aunt May lost. She really loved him. What was it like, and then it becomes like, who should they cast as Uncle Ben?
It's got to be a younger guy.
Should it be Joe Pesci?
Ralph Macchio? Was he in the...
was he?
I think he was in the... You're talking My Cousin Vinny?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not just people who've been paramours of Marissa Tomei in other movies, basically. So, there have been a number of people.
Dude from The Wrestler. Oh, come on. Angel Heart.
Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
Mickey Rourke. Yeah, so he could be the Lash or whatever that he was.
Bring him back.
And then,
That's I totally forgot about that. Yeah,
but Vincent D'Onofrio,
I was in love with the
Kingpin,
supervillain.
You know, she was in a movie with again opposite him. So Vincent D'Onofrio, you could put some hair for that role, just so you wouldn't be like, he looks familiar.
So one of the things I do like too was, as much as Peter Parker did get into fights to solve problems, he doesn't always just punching his way out of problems.
Sure.
And in fact, his last act of saving Michael Keaton is kind of his last heroic act.
Sure.
And I like the fact that he, for instance, turns down the Jennifer Connelly, Karen, keeps saying, hey, you want to use instant death mode? And you see his eyes go, and he's saying, no. Like he's constantly, no. I don't want the kill everything powers. Let me just, I can stop crime without killing people. And I appreciate that, because there are plenty of examples of folks who wouldn't mind having that power.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. No.
So, yeah, so, no. That was pretty good. I enjoyed his attempts to stay a good person.
Yes.
And they kept him that way, and that was excellent.
Yeah.
Also, like just the spider trying to climb up the Washington Monument.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, God. I'm getting there, like, that's true. He can't fly. How would he get up? He's got to crawl up the thing. It's a very tall tower. He's got to gee, I'm almost, come on. That was kind of fun too. Put him in an environment where it's like tough to be Spider-Man, a la the suburbs. Can't swing on things. I have to just run through a field.
Apparently, which is in the comics as well.
Yeah. So anyway, they did it very, very well.
Yeah.
I love even the end credits with all the little like high school drawings and stuff. The music was fun.
It was very good. And the original themes are very top of the movie.
Right.
Original animated theme, I should say.
Right, the Spider-Man.
Yes.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, so obviously we really liked it.
We're fans and friends, super friends.
Yes.
No, not those. But anyway, yes. So go check out Spider-Man next week. It's Game of Thrones time. So
go check it out. We spoiled it. See it again.
Go see it again. Yeah, so we're excited about Game of Thrones coming back.
Yes.
And there will be other superhero movies a la Thor Ragnarok is coming up. Which will be awesome.
Justice League.
Is Justice League before the end of the year?
I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't put it on my calendar.
Right. We're not maybe quite as excited for that, but yay! Yes.
Yay, yes.
Yeah. Just don't be Suicide Squad. Okay, great.
Yeah.
And of course, Star Wars.
Yes.
The Last Jedi will be out in December. So anyway, we will see you guys next week to talk Game of Thrones. Bye, everybody.
Any size, catch your seeds, just like flies, look out.